Ladies and gentlemen, look who's back in the studio.
It's good to be back. It's been a while.
How long has it been, Carson?
8 months. Over 8 months.
8 months since you've been back in the state of Wisconsin.
Yes, sir. And it feels so good.
That's
I missed
crazy.
it.
You know, it's almost been a year to the day since we started doing this podcast.
I know. It's been, honestly, so many good memories.
I know.
Looking back on it, there are so many good memories.
So many more to come.
Yes, sir.
And unfortunately, today, there will be no cocktail because Carson and I had enough cocktails last night.
Yes, sir. One of the things that happened while I was gone is turned 21. So finally get to go drink because, as you guys know, I never really drank before I turned 21.
Good
So
kid.
last night, came down to La Crosse, went out, had some fun.
Oh, yeah, got in a few fights.
I wish.
No, we don't fight.
We're lovers, not fighters.
Somebody was a lover last night.
No.
So, there's going to be no cocktail. We'll have to...
Although we could tell you about some of the drinks we had. Amaretto
We could.
sours,
Those are kind of good.
moose juice.
Moose juice, one of my favorite drinks downtown.
That stuff was so good. Deadly.
Classic
Yes.
rum and Coke.
Yep.
Bourbon and Coke.
Well, we asked for bourbon. They gave us rum.
Mm.
That's okay. The bartender was cute, so.
There's a couple
Favorite
cute
pets.
bartenders.
Yeah.
Chloe,
Chloe.
shout out. Marry me.
Imagine? Yeah, for real. Me too. We'll be Mormon.
Riding around on bicycles and suits.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bicycles and suits.
That's what Mormons do.
They're carriages.
No, that's
They're
the
horse-
Amish.
Oh, shit.
That's the Amish. No, Mormons. Mormons. If you Google Mormons, I guarantee you click on images, there's going to be a suit and a bicycle.
No such thing. That's morons. You did not just type in moron.
Hey, I'm a bad speller.
That reminds me of
I
that
am,
Jack Harlow best vaccination spot.
Yeah.
Trying to get political on us.
Morons.
Shouts to Jack
Yeah.
Harlow.
Mormons on bikes.
Okay, you had to look that up, but to be fair, that is kind of a thing, I guess.
It's a missionary. Yeah.
Oh, it is too good to be back.
Okay.
Anyways, reining it
Do you
into the
have any-
sports world.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, before we get into that, do you have any anything you want to tell us from your past 8 months? Any cool stories you want to share?
Honestly, not really.
Did
If I'm
you-
being brutally honest, I love Air Force and I'm part of it, so I can't really slander it on this.
Right.
But we didn't do a whole lot. Basic training, just sat around, rolled socks, cleaned up clothing, like clipping strings, and
Rolled socks.
yep. Hey, if anybody needs their socks rolled, hit me up. I can make them just tight and okay.
What does rolling socks even mean?
So like, because we're always supposed to be ready at all times, everything needs to be able to fit into a bag. And so
Okay.
you need to roll it up to make it really, really small and tight.
Okay, yeah,
I
I'm
can't
following.
say these things with you. So you need to be able to.
So you got to be able to like get it in a bag
Yes.
real quick.
Yes, so everything
Okay.
needs to be ready for you to go, ready for you to pack up very quickly. So we pack everything, we roll it, we make them tight little balls,
Mhm.
and then I know I'm sorry. Okay,
You're okay.
and then we have to like fold our shirts a certain way so everything is neat, orderly. You could look up a picture of it, like an RLA locker. It's ridiculous. So because
Would they come and
COVID-
check that thing?
Yes, every day.
Ah.
And because of COVID, we weren't really allowed to go outside too
Mhm.
much and do a whole lot. So we literally just had to sit there doing that type of stuff all day long. And we'd take apart our weapon because you can't call it a gun. It's a weapon. I don't know. Doesn't make sense. But we'd take apart that and put it back together, reassemble just to practice.
Mhm.
So that was basic training
Did you get
And
to
then-
shoot much?
once,
One time.
one time,
You went shooting one time in 8 months.
one time.
That's kind of a
And-
bummer.
well, yeah. And then our tech school, we went over to Fort Sam Houston, which is an Army base. And then we did our EMT training because I'm a medic. So did all that. Learned a little bit of nursing,
Mhm.
EMT, all that. And then from there, for the last 2 months, you go to a military hospital and you work in the hospital as like a med tech, CNA, EMT, whatever they need. And you do your clinicals. So that is kind of how my last 8 months has been. So really fun. Got to travel. I went to Vegas for my phase 2. We call it a phase 2. So really fun, really good experience. Would I do it again? Yes. Do I advise other people to do it? Hell no.
Ooh.
No.
Those are some strong words.
I mean, it's worth it. And it depends on what you want. Obviously, like if you're willing to do that, yes, it's worth it. But there's a lot of stuff you have to put up in the military that people don't see on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a lot of politics involved.
That's fair.
And it just gets really tiring because you can't just do something. You have to go pass it by your commander and their commander and all the way up the chain of command. There's no simple way of doing anything, and it gets really frustrating. But I mean, hey, if you're okay with that and you want a little bit of discipline in your life, it's definitely worth it.
But with all that said, don't you graduated what, top of your class?
In basic, yes.
You got to tell them all about that. You got the medic patch over there. You big time now.
I do have a medic patch now. It feels good.
You're basically commander in chief.
I mean, pretty much, you know.
Dang straight. All right.
But anyways, back to the sports.
I don't even know what episode number this is. It might be like 23, 24.
Close to it, yeah.
I think so. So welcome back to, another episode of Cocktails and Wieners with your boy.
Yes, sir.
Carson back in the studio. Where do we begin?
I don't know. So much has happened. I mean, we have the NBA season.
NBA All-Stars were announced.
All-Stars. We have football. We have the lockdown.
Tom Brady retired.
Yeah, we have the lockdown in baseball. We don't really cover baseball too much, but
still kind of a big news.
Yeah, there's so much going on. Where do you want to start?
And then you got the whole Aaron Rodgers fiasco.
No, I think we can start with football.
You got the playoffs in general.
Yeah.
College basketball.
Right now, the game's actually going on. Cincy, Chiefs. Oh, we're going for Cincy.
I guess let's just start with those 4 games. It's going to be Bengals, Chiefs who are playing right now.
Yep.
Bills. Wait.
Ooh. I
rough
wish.
Start. Rams. 49ers later. So I guess we can talk about how we got here a little bit. The Chiefs. Did you were here? We watched that game, right?
Yeah.
Chiefs Bills played last week.
Wild game.
Probably one of the best games in NFL history.
Seriously, if you got tickets to that game, that was well worth the money.
Insane.
It was crazy.
I think there was 21 points scored in the last minute and 34 seconds.
And weren't there like 6 lead changes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's insane.
In like 2 minutes.
That just to me, I know I said this when we were watching the game, but to me that doesn't really make sense. How a team in crunch time can go down and score so easily. It seems like they're just doing it effortlessly. And then the entire rest of the game, they can't score at all. To me, that doesn't really make sense. I'm like, why is it so easy in the last 2 minutes? Because essentially, if you look at every NFL game, at least one team scores in crunch time almost every single game. A field goal or a touchdown. So I never really understood that.
Speaking of that, Chiefs just went up 14-3. Kind of sad, but I still believe in Joe Shiesty. So then on the flip side, that is an interesting take. I think it's probably like a sense of urgency.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like that kind of plays a part in it.
But why wouldn't you want your team to have that the entire game? To me, I think that'd make it a little more fun.
I'm not disagreeing. I feel like we're simplifying it too much.
Yeah, I mean,
because clearly, if it was that easy, then
I'm not paid the big bucks.
They would be scoring like 200 points a game.
True,
but they aren't. On the other side, we had the Bengals take on the Titans in Derrick Henry's return.
Yeah, King Henry. That was a good game too. I was a little disappointed. At the time, I was kind of going for the Titans just because I like King Henry.
Really?
Yeah, I'm a huge King Henry fan. I mean, it's not like I'm going to go out and buy his jersey, but I do enjoy watching him. I think he's a generational player. You're not going to see many people like him. So I wanted to see him move on and get to the AFC Championship.
I was honestly kind of surprised that he came back in general.
Me too.
That was a big thing. But I was fully on board with Joe Burr and the Bengals. I was happy to see them win. It was, I think Burrow got sacked 9 times in that game, though. Their offensive line is not.
No. That's the thing they need to target most in the offseason. They have pretty much everything else. They need a little bit better of a running back, but they got a strong receiving core. Well, one good receiver.
I mean, T. Higgins is pretty good.
That's true.
Tyler Boyd's pretty good.
True.
They have a pretty solid tight end. C.J. Uzama, who actually just got hurt in this game. That's kind of sad.
Really?
And then on the other side, as we mentioned, Rams, 49ers. The 49ers.
49ers. Oh.
Actually, we'll start with the Rams. The Rams played the Buccaneers, of course.
Really good game.
They were up 27-3. Tom Brady made
Another comeback.
his magical comeback tied at 27-27, and Stafford let him down the field for the game-winning field goal.
Which, real quick side note, I am so happy for Matt Stafford.
Mm-hmm.
He finally got out of Detroit, and he's doing extremely well.
Mm-hmm.
People are actually starting to put some respect on his name.
Mm-hmm.
Because before, he was just the quarterback in Detroit who never won and was kind of just
Mm-hmm.
not great. But now, he's amazing. He's got Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods. He's got so many weapons at his disposal, and he's doing incredible.
Yeah, I am happy to see that. And then, I mean, it was just kind of nuts to see Tom Brady make another comeback in general. I don't know how he does it. All of it was in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
But I was once again happy to see the Rams beat that game.
Me too.
And then you had the 49ers Packers.
Heartbreak.
Which, I was speechless.
Me too. In my opinion, and this isn't just my opinion, we have the MVP, the clear MVP in the league, in Aaron Rodgers. And he cannot score more than 10 points.
Well, yeah.
That to me is sad. Our defense, who's incredibly underrated, played a phenomenal game. And our offense, for the first time, was the one side of the Packers or one side of the team that couldn't get it done.
And I just, how many points the 49ers offense scored that game?
Wasn't it 3?
0.
Or 0? Oh, yeah.
They had a defensive touchdown and 2 field goals.
Yeah. That's sad.
And your defense doesn't let up a touchdown. And you can't win the game at home, in Lambeau, snowy conditions.
Yeah. It's literally our home turf. We live to play in January. In the cold, the snow, any conditions. The 49ers are from California. They're a bunch of Sunshine State boys.
Mm-hmm.
They're used to sunny and 75 all year round. And they come in and they beat us. In, what was it? Wasn't it like negative with the wind chill?
I think for part of the game, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was like negative something with wind chill.
I think it was.
And they come out and outplay us.
Mm-hmm. I just think that's embarrassing.
I do too.
So, to tie all those games up, I don't know if there's much to say from the Bengals-Titans game.
Yeah, not much. Just impressive
teams,
on Joe Burrow's half.
Yeah, I think both those teams are going to be pretty solid moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some pretty big news that came out of each of the other games.
I agree.
Rams-Chiefs. What do we think about the overtime rules in the NFL?
I don't like it. I've said since day one I want to go to college rules.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I think each team should get a chance.
Mm-hmm.
I hate how it's become literally leaving up. Like, those two teams played their absolute heart out.
Mm-hmm.
They left it all on the field. They played phenomenal games, and it was left up to a coin toss.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate that because I can't imagine from a player's perspective. That's got to be such an satisfactory feeling, or unsettling. I don't know how to put it.
There's nothing they could have.
Yeah, it's like you gave it all and there's nothing you can do because a coin decided who was going to win.
Mm-hmm. And basically what you're saying is both of those teams were playing lights out on offense. Both the defenses were struggling. So whoever won the coin toss, they probably had a 99% chance of winning the game. So if the Bills win the toss, they probably win the game, which I understand your point. I personally agree with your point, but what do you say to the people who are a lot of the rebuttal there is that the Bills did have a chance because their defense was on the field and their defense could have stopped the offense. So a lot of people are like, the rules are fine because it came down to an even thing.
I mean, I agree with that. And there's really no argument to that because it's a really fair point to say. But at the same time, if both teams are tied, that means their defenses were playing the same. I mean, they're tied for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Their offenses and defenses canceled out. So you can say that, but at the same time, it's the other thing could be said about the other team, and it's just as fair of a point. So I don't know. I don't know. It's a good, fair point to make. There's not really an argument against it.
Mm-hmm. This is honestly what I started thinking about. And I was proud of myself to come to this conclusion. So I was thinking about overtime rules in football and all the other sports.
Mm-hmm.
Football is probably the most true team sport we have.
I'd agree with that.
In basketball, you have 5 players on the court, but those 5 players are both responsible for offense and defense. Mm-hmm. Baseball, you're responsible for hitting and playing in the field.
Mm-hmm.
Soccer, I know it's a little mixed in soccer because you have predominantly offensive players and defensive players, but they're still on the field at the same time.
And there's still one player that could go off and carry the team.
In football, you have 11 players on offense, 11 players on defense, and rarely, if ever, there's any mix over.
Mm.
So football, you have two separate teams out there. In my opinion, when it comes to overtime, I completely understand people saying, well, their defense had a chance to stop them. But how are we only letting one half of a team in a team sport decide the overtime?
That's a good point.
That makes no sense to me, because then if you're a dominant offensive team, but your defense is a little weak,
you're always going to win if you get the toss.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know how, it's just not fair to hamper one half of a whole team.
Yeah, that does put a lot of pressure on one side. Like, if you lose the toss, it's putting all your pressure on your defense.
Mm-hmm.
And if you lose your game, that might even cause a little bit of animosity, because the offense might get mad and be like, well, what the heck? Defense got to pull their weight. Yeah, I can see your point.
So I was just thinking, I was like, wait, hang on. Why? We're just going to let one half of one team play?
I disagree with that. I think it needs to be changed. I think it needs to go to college rules, or they need to play an actual, like, fifth quarter. They need to put another 10 minutes or give them 10 minutes on the clock and let them play it out.
Mm-hmm. So, I do kind of like that idea. But a lot of people to that say that, like, football's a violent sport. They already play too much. It's just going to increase injuries, which that's a fair point and everything. But here's what I think they should do. So college rules right now are from the 25-yard line. Each team gets it, blah, blah, blah. I think in the NFL, it should be the same thing. Still do the coin toss for whoever wants to decide if they want the ball first or not. But take it from the 40-yard line, like 40 yards to the touchdown, and give them 2 minutes on the clock.
I like that.
Any team should easily be able to use, like, that should not take 2 minutes.
No.
But it just prevents a team from just, like, sitting out there. So 40-yard line, 2 minutes, both teams get a shot. If the first team gets a field goal, second team gets a touchdown, then they win, obviously. If after that, it's still tied, maybe do that 2 times. If it's still tied after that, then just move to 2-point conversions.
I agree, because I'm glad you touched on that. I'm so sick of the tie rule. That's one thing I really, really like. Oh, that's one of the things I really like about college is there's no such thing as a tie. I hate that. I think it's so, like, we have all these other rules to make all these other things fair and to a player's advantage or team's advantages, and yet we're tying.
I do think the tie is kind of, I would like to see it go, but it is kind of funny.
I mean, it is, because you can have an undefeated season and still have a tie.
16-0-1.
Yeah. And real quick, touching on that, how a lot of people argue about the length of the games and how it's violent. I see that point, but then you also have to look at it and say, we just made a 17-game season, and nobody really complained about it. Like, how can you say an extra 10 minutes if it ties isn't worth it, or 15 minutes isn't worth it when we add an entire game onto the schedule?
And I think the other thing about that is it's not like every single game goes into overtime.
No, there's probably what?
5 a year.
5-10 a year at most.
So
I think that's much more worth it.
I think that's what they should do. 40-yard line, each team gets the ball twice.
I agree.
Whoever wins, wins. If it's still tied, go to 2-point conversions.
I definitely agree with that. Now going back to it a little bit, we kind of touched on it with the 49ers Packers. Excuse me. So, should we get into Aaron Rodgers?
That's where I was going to move to next.
Aaron Rodgers.
You think he's gone?
Biggest diva in the league.
You think he's gone?
Well, aside from Antonio Brown. But
yeah.
I think he is.
I do too.
I definitely think he is. After all the cryptic things he's been saying and telling all the reporters, I think he's out of here. I don't think he wants to stay.
Did you by chance see his like post-game press conference?
I did. I saw clips of it, not the whole thing.
I just thought it was strange because the whole time he was up there talking, it was he was just talking about the NFC Championship game and the Super Bowl. And to me, that just means you thought the 49ers game was in the bag.
Yeah.
Like you weren't even prepared for it. You just kind of like, oh, we're going to roll over these guys. So I think the Packers were not even, I think the whole team was not even, they were just counting it as a W already.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't have too much to say on that because I only saw clips of it. But to your point, that's sad. On Matt LaFleur, all the coaches, the coaching staff, like you should know going in a game, nothing is for granted, especially when we lost 2 weeks before to the Lions, to the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
Like you should be preparing for every single game, especially when you know you have a quarterback who's unhappy on the team and it could potentially be his last game and he's an MVP caliber player. You should be looking at every game as if it could be your last, which it could be, and you want to keep him on the team. Because if they had won a Super Bowl in Green Bay, I think there was a chance of him staying.
I think if they even made it to the Super Bowl, I think he'd be staying.
Yeah. And now in my opinion, there's no chance of it.
I would be shocked that he stays. And as a Packers fan, this is kind of where I am now. Do I want Rodgers to leave? Of course not. If Rodgers leaves, Adams probably leaves. And if we lose both those people,
MVS.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of his. But if we lose our two best players, obviously we're going to get worse.
Yeah.
So, of course, as a fan, I don't want to get worse.
I also don't want to see it happen. Oh, sorry. Continue.
No. That was totally fine. I just was going to add, it's not working. How many years in a row did we make it to the NFC Championship game?
Yeah.
Lost. Then we go out first round this year. It's like, at some point, it's not working. You just got to move on.
I agree with that. And I also don't, but the thing is, like, I don't want to see them walk because we're not going to get anything back for them. Our team is going to get substantially worse. I think if we lose both Rodgers and Davante Adams, I say we're going to have a 4-win season, if that. I mean, we're not going to have any standout players. We'll have Love, which, I mean, Love has a lot of potential, but I don't know. I mean, who else would we have on the team?
Well, I mean, we still have a really solid defense.
We would. We'd have a solid defense, but our offensively, we wouldn't have that many weapons.
Well, I mean, we'd still have Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon.
That's fair.
Our wide receivers, we'd probably have to draft some if they actually draft receivers.
True.
But no, I definitely agree with that point. So this is how I think the Packers should attack the offseason. I think you obviously go to Rodgers, and obviously it's going to be up to him. If he's 100% gone, there's nothing you can do.
No.
But if he shows any interest in coming back, I think you go to him, you offer him a 4-year, $100 million deal, fully guaranteed. That's $25 million a year. I know that's not a lot. He would be like the 15th highest paid quarterback. But the reason I say that is that's what Tom Brady has done like every single year of his career.
Yep.
He just takes $25 million,
and
which
it
is
works.
still a lot of money. So Rodgers next year will probably make 40.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Wherever he goes.
You know how much you can get with $15 million going to a non-quarterback position?
Yeah.
We could sign a darn good wide receiver.
Antonio Brown.
I do not want that.
I do not want him either. No.
But you know what I'm saying? We could sign
I get it, yeah.
another good offensive lineman, another good receiver, another good cornerback, safety.
You could sign multiple
linebacker.
positions.
I know. And that's what I just don't like. $15 million is a lot when it goes to non-quarterback.
Yeah. And if I were them, I would try and offer him that for that exact same reason, because you could literally get 3-5 million a year players, which isn't phenomenal, but like it also depends on like the quarterback and the system they're in. Because if you look at like Le'Veon Bell, he was phenomenal on the Steelers. As soon as he left, he was terrible. So these players that you might be able to get for $5 million, they might be kind of okay on their team, but in the right system, they might turn out to be phenomenal. So I agree with what you're saying. I think Rodgers needs to take a pay cut, because if he wants to get to the Super Bowl, we're going to need to build around him. It can't just be him and Davante Adams the entire game, and a little bit of Aaron Jones and then the defense.
Well, and that's kind of like the thing. Like if you look at the teams now, like it looks like the Chiefs are going to make the Super Bowl, but I think the Chiefs are kind of an anomaly. Because you have Patrick Mahomes, who's phenomenal. Best top 5 receiver. Best tight end in the league. So it's kind of like, I don't even know how they afford the players on their team.
I don't know.
But eventually their wheels are going to fall off because they won't be able to afford anything.
Oh, yeah.
But if you look at the Buccaneers, granted Tom Brady's retiring now.
Which is a whole nother
allegedly.
Issue. Yeah.
The reason they were able to keep signing people and just keeping the whole team together is because he makes $25 a year.
Literally.
So I think you go to him and say, hey, look, we'll give you $25 a year with the money. And you could even tell him what you plan to do with the money that you'd be taking away from him. You say, hey, we're going to re-sign Davante Adams for a little bit more. We're going to go get you a second weapon. We're going to go get a good tight end. We're going to go get a good linebacker, defensive player. And if he says no, I think you trade him. And then I think you franchise tag Davante Adams and trade him.
I agree, because that way we get something out of both of them.
And I do like Davante Adams, but I don't think there's a point in keeping one and not the other.
I agree with that. And I think if you look, another point to make on that is, like, if you actually look at Tom Brady and what he does, everything he does is set up for the team. In my opinion, Tom Brady is a much better team player than Aaron Rodgers. Because it works for him. He's been taking these quote-unquote pay cuts. He could easily be the most paid or the highest paid player in history.
Easily.
Because he's also the most winning player.
He probably should. Yeah.
Yeah, he should be. But that's the thing is he doesn't, and so he's the most winning or winningest player in history. And I think it has a correlation because he does take those pay cuts so they can get those other players. I mean, you look at their team is stacked.
Mhm.
They've got 2 running backs who are above average. You have 3 receivers that are above average. Their tight end is, I mean, decent.
Yeah.
He's not bad. And that's all because they're able to afford it.
Mhm.
None of the players on the team, I think it's coming down to how much they want it. Because if Aaron Rodgers wanted it bad enough, he'd take the pay cuts.
Mhm. And let me rephrase this because I don't want people to think I'm like anti-players making money.
No,
I want players to make as much money as they possibly can because
they made it.
they bring the money to the sport.
Mhm.
They deserve it. I want people to be successful. So I'm going to rephrase it by saying, when you sign your first contract, sign it for as much money as you possibly can.
I agree.
Like Mahomes got like a 10-year, $50 million deal. That's a little extreme. But like sign it for but Tom Brady's 44, Aaron Rodgers 37. At that point, you know how much money he's made?
Yeah, and
He
endorsements.
can take when
He's
you
got the discount double check.
when you've made it to a point in your career when a pay cut doesn't hurt you financially,
Mm-hmm.
that's when you should take it.
Literally.
So that I wanted to rephrase that.
Yeah, no, I agree because he's probably got in the bank already $100 million.
Mm-hmm.
What more do you need?
Mm-hmm.
$100 million? I don't even know what I'd spend that on. You could buy an entire country for that much money.
Mm-hmm.
If it were me and I were that good and I wanted to get to a Super Bowl, I'd literally sign like a minimum contract. I don't care. I've already got all the millions that I need.
Mm-hmm.
Take a minimum contract and sign like 5 other stars.
Mm-hmm.
I
And I
don't
think Drew Brees was also a good quarterback at doing that.
Hey, I love
It
my
didn't,
boy.
Didn't equate to the championships, but I
Yep.
think he did take team-friendly deals.
I agree.
All right, so transitioning to the guy we just talked about, Tom Brady.
Oof.
According to Adam Schefter of ESPN, but not himself, he's retiring. What do you think about that?
I think it's definitely weird. Something's a little fishy.
It's something don't smell right.
The way that it comes from Schefter and not Brady himself. I feel like after such an illustrious career,
Yeah.
you would be the one to come out and say, "Hey, I'm going to retire. Like,
Mhm.
I want to be done. I've played 20-something seasons,
22, I think.
22 seasons. After that, I'd be the one to be like, hey, I'm retiring. Like, I've had a great run at it. I love the sport, like all this, blah, 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 blah. But it comes from Schefter.
Yeah. Mhm.
And has he even came out and gave a
So the
public
interesting
statement?
thing is, I don't know if there were some reports by verified accounts on Twitter.
Mhm.
So the reports are true, but like I don't know if they're actually true.
Okay.
Was that he has not made a final decision, and that when Schefter broke the news, he called the Bucs GM and said, "That didn't come from me."
Dang.
So
I don't even know
I'm not saying that means he's not going to retire.
No.
But you would also think, now I know like being a journalist, and I actually kind of don't like Adam Schefter. And I don't mean this like not journalism as a whole is not like a bad thing, but it is kind of
It's invasive.
yeah. So you would think him being who he is, that they would have respect to let him announce it.
Oh, yeah.
I just don't get that. That's what caught me off guard.
Yeah, and like, to your point, I know journalism is pretty much based on whoever can get there first.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes at the expense of somebody's family and home life and their privacy,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just wrong.
Like when it comes to like trading or contract signing or coaches firings, I get that.
even then though, even that to me, because there have been reports where players find out from the news that they got traded before they actually heard
that's
from their
true.
teams.
Yeah.
I disagree. I think that it should be a private thing first, and then when both parties are already in an understanding, like I think that's when it should be released.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, that everybody's just like, all the media is just vultures
Mhm.
trying to get there first, trying to get the best scoop. I don't know.
I also think it's kind of funny. A lot of people are like saying Gisele Bündchen is like the sole reason he's retiring.
I mean,
That she's like forcing him to retire.
if I had a wife that was that hot, I think I'd retire too. If she asked me to retire, I'd be like, yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. I'm coming home, baby.
I'm coming home.
No, I just think that's kind of funny that like, And maybe she is, and like that'd be a valid thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anything to knock on that. I think that's a respectable reason to retire. If your family life wants you home, you should be home.
So the other thing that was kind of interesting to me about it was the timing of it. It wasn't even announced a week after they lost.
Yeah.
It was like 6 days. You would think if he were to actually retire, or if he made the actual statement, it would come like 2 weeks after the Super Bowl.
I'd even say it'd come after. Yeah. Okay, yeah, after the Super Bowl in the off season.
Yeah.
Like,
you wouldn't think it would come out before the second, like, semifinals.
No, not at all.
It just seems weird.
In my opinion, it also seems a little selfish. Like, it's taking away all the headlines from the Cincinnati Bengals, who are in the AFC Championship for the first time in how long? And then it's
like
taking,
ever.
Yeah, ever. And it's also taking away a little bit of the spotlight of the Rams. Like, instead of people focusing on, oh my gosh, Joe Burrow, oh my gosh, Matt Stafford, they're finally doing it, they're now like, oh my gosh, Tom Brady. It seems a little selfish. I mean, I know that's kind of a stretch, but like at the same time, it's a genuine feeling. I know more than just me feel.
I agree with you. I
don't know. It's just a really fishy and kind of shitty situation.
So speaking of player retirement,
there have been a lot of those lately.
Big Ben Roethlisberger's hanging it up.
It was time. Much needed.
It's been about time for about 5 years now.
Yeah, I agree. He cannot throw the ball anymore.
He actually looks like he's in pain when he's throwing it.
Yeah, he does. His throwing form is terrible. And I'm sorry, but he kind of let himself go. He's put on a little bit of weight. He can't move like he used to.
We like that.
But he can't move like he used to. Watching him run on the field is kind of awkward.
I mean, he is 39.
True.
So, like, not everyone, ages as good as
Tom Brady.
Did you see Tom Brady's tweet about him?
No.
Oh, it was so funny.
Which, speaking real quick back on Tom Brady, it's incredible how, like...
Hottie? I mean...
No. At what, like, such a high level of play he was still playing at.
Yeah. Okay, so Ben released this video about him hanging it up.
Okay.
And Tom replies to it and says, Ben defied the TB12 method in favor of the throw some ice on it method his whole career and ended up an all-time great. With 6 Pro Bowls and 2 Super Bowls, there's more than one way to bake a cake.
Literally, that man never put ice on anything.
I mean, and I think that's a great... I love that Tom said that.
Yeah. Big Ben is just one of those players who's like legendary on and off the field. Just his antics. I love it. I think he's a Hall of Famer for sure.
Oh, he's a
there's no debating that.
Both him and Tom are going to be first ballot.
Oh, 100%.
Hall of Famers.
100%.
But yeah, and it's kind of sad. Like, you have Tom, who I'm not the biggest Tom Brady fan, just because the whole thing about like he's the best player. I'm not going to love him because he's not on my team.
Yeah.
But Tom Brady's like damn near going out on top. Ben Roethlisberger is like going out kind of sad.
Yeah, that's another, like, Tom Brady had one of his best statistical years ever. He was phenomenal. He was one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And then he had Big Ben. And he was one of the worst ones. And he's been one of the worst ones in the league for the last 4 or 5 years. It's kind of sad to see, to your point, because it just seemed like you could tell he was kind of holding on. He just wasn't ready to let go, was still chasing that trophy, which if I were in his situation, I probably would too. If that's your whole life, since the age of, I don't know when he started playing football, probably early.
Yeah, probably middle school.
Maybe yeah.
Earlier.
If that's all you know your entire life, it's got to be hard to let go, but at the same time, he should have been done a while ago.
Yeah. I don't know. Can you think of anybody else who retired?
Sean Payton.
Oh, yeah.
But
that one's also a little fishy to me.
Hey, that man is a saint, figuratively and literally.
No, he's not. He's actually not. I think he's actually like a mean person.
No. You think he's mean?
I don't think he's mean, but the Bounty Gate was problematic, to say the least.
I decline to make any comments on that.
Oh, wow. You're pleading the fifth?
No, I know. Yeah, that's kind of a stain on his career. Everything except for that was phenomenal. But it's sad to see the fact that one slip up. I mean, that's not a slip up. That's a major Yeah, I shouldn't even say what I'm going to say. I was going to say 1 minor slip-up ruins a career, but realistically, it's a pretty big thing.
So the thing about that, so the Saints are obvious. They're going to be like $78 million over the cap. And your quarterbacks are Taysom Hill.
No.
Quarterbacks are Taysom Hill and Ian Book.
Jameis Winston.
I think he's a free agent.
I think so too.
So you have no money to sign him either.
No.
You're negative money. So I honestly think Sean Payton was just in his office one day looking at like the team,
he's probably
the cap space, and he was like, this is somebody else's problem.
Yeah, I don't want to deal with this. I ain't going to be here.
I think he'll probably, because he's still a relatively young guy.
Yeah, he is. That's what surprised me the most. When I saw the news, I was working out at the gym, and I looked up on ESPN. It said, breaking news. Head coach Sean Payton steps down. I was like, what?
He's definitely not old. He's a little older than I thought.
I mean, yes, but 58 for coaches? Yeah, coaches are 60s all the time.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree.
Bill Belichick is
400. 69.
He's
Shout out Billy Boy. No, but yeah.
Oh, Bengals scored.
Touchdown?
Yeah.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go, Joe Burrow.
Who scored it?
I don't know. But yeah, so I just...
Samaje Perine.
I don't know.
Okay, yeah, so I agree with that. So I think what's going to happen is he's going to take this next year off. Because I would be surprised if he jumped to a team right away.
Yeah, I don't think he's done.
No shot he's done coaching.
No, he's a good coach.
I think Mike McCarthy's going to get fired.
Oh, thank God.
As the Cowboys head coach, and Sean Payton's going to get the job.
You think so?
I think that's what's going to happen.
I could honestly see that. I wouldn't be too surprised. I mean, Mike McCarthy, he needs to go. McCarthy's way past his time. He had a good run in Green Bay, and since then he's done nothing. Like, he had one of the best records in the league with the Cowboys, one of the best teams, and they did absolutely nothing again.
And I'm like one of the probably a top 5 offense.
Oh yeah, for sure. Their
good
offense is phenomenal.
Good offensive line.
CeeDee Lamb, who's a beast.
CeeDee Lamb. Yeah, no.
Zeke Zeke's a whole other story. But yeah, so I think Sean Payton, I think he's going to move on, which is kind of sad to see because, as you guys know, I'm a Saints fan. I always used to be. And it's just kind of sad to see him leave after such a disappointing season because we had so much hope, but then we lost our quarterback, we lost our top receiver, but to his point, he was 1 game under 500. That's not bad for not having a quarterback half the season, having no offensive weapons except for one, Alvin Kamara. I think he's a good head coach. He'll definitely find another coaching position.
Yeah,
somebody will want him.
But I do think he was looking at like negative $78 million.
Not gonna deal with it,
guys. I'm gonna retire.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame him.
I'm done with this. Maybe shift over to the NBA.
Hey, I love it. I like to hear it.
Just to update. It's halftime in the Bengals Chiefs game. 21-10.
Second half. Or
that's like an easy comeback.
Yeah.
I mean, not an easy comeback. I mean, there's a minute left. They got the ball back? No, they're kicking it off.
Oh, they're kicking?
Yeah, they're kicking it off to them. A minute 05, which we know that's plenty of time for the Mahomes.
Yeah, all Tyreek Hill needs is 20 seconds?
Maybe even less.
Probably less, yeah. No, but so going over to the NBA, this has been a wild year. This year has been one of the craziest years. There's been COVID outbreaks.
But
there's been injuries.
Have you noticed there's no COVID in the NBA anymore?
Mm-hmm. Not gonna get into it. And don't you think it's a little bit fishy how everybody's vaccinated, but everyone got COVID? Hey, I'm vaccinated. Military made me. Thank you, Uncle Sam.
Joe Byron.
Hey, but I haven't gotten my software update yet. The booster. I keep telling people on my software update, you can't have a microchip in you for more than 6 months without something going wrong.
I actually had mine extracted.
Oh, nice. I like to hear it.
So the NBA All-Star were announced. Funny enough, we actually kicked off the OG podcast.
Yeah.
With NBA All-Stars.
With NBA All-Stars. All right.
Coming full circle here, it's going to be Team LeBron versus Team Durant. Those are the 2 best players in the league.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Giannis should have gotten captain over Durant. And LeBron, I think Jokic. Oh, it should have been Giannis and Jokic, in my opinion. But, I mean, I will give LeBron props. He's, 35 years old, 36 years old? He's averaging 29 points a game. That's incredible. Players half his age aren't even averaging close to that.
It is pretty. So, me and you were kind of talking about this because there's some interesting people starting. Really, just one person.
I'm not a fan.
How it's determined is 50% fans, 25% NBA players, and 25% media panel. Why in the world are fans the first option?
I don't like it.
I can understand wanting the fans to be involved somewhat.
Give them a 25%.
Give them like 10%.
Literally.
Jesus.
Literally. I mean, they almost got or was it Mobile? No, it was Bowl, or is it Bowl?
I don't know who.
Oh, no, Taco Fall.
Oh, yeah.
They almost got Taco Fall on the ballot.
But here's the thing, like, you all know I'm a astronomical, I don't even know if that's a word, huge Damian Lillard fan.
Yeah.
He made it on a guard. He's been out for like the whole entire year.
And even then, I'm sorry, I know you're a huge Dame fan, but this season's been mediocre for him. No, granted, mediocre for him is phenomenal for other players. But I feel like if you're an all-star, you should be playing at the best of your ability and also doing well in the NBA. Or like as a whole.
And when we look at it, like, for example, we have Steph Curry.
Yep, obviously.
Player rank, fan rank, media rank, he was number ones across the board. Makes sense. Ja Morant was 2s across the board. You go down to DeJounte Murray, he was 6th player rank.
That is a crime.
5 media rank. 12 fan rank.
It's because nobody knows about him because the Spurs are like not that great. But if you actually look at them, they are pretty good.
No, I know. But I'm just saying that just shows you that the fan does not care.
No.
They just like the I mean, Ja Morant's good. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But they like the flashy play of Ja Morant. He's obviously a big name. Obviously, Curry, Luka, Devin Booker, Chris Paul, Klay Thompson. But you're telling me, so the fans voted Klay Thompson 4.
Yeah.
Klay Thompson's played maybe 3 games?
And he's been
4 games?
He's been good, but he's been on minutes restriction. He's averaging, 14 points a game? You're putting someone like that. Now, that's a guard? Wait, he's put at a guard. Why is he at a guard?
So that's what Klay Thompson plays for him. Shooting guard.
I thought he was a shooting
small forward.
Yeah, small forward.
No,
okay. Yeah. Either way, I think I don't know if any of you guys really follow DeJounte Murray. I had him on my fantasy team, which is the only reason I followed him. But this season is phenomenal.
No, he definitely.
He's got the second most triple doubles, and he's not a Westbrook triple double. He's a natural triple double. He's actually helping his team win and stay in games by getting those stats. He deserves to be I'd say he's a top 5 player right now. He's phenomenal.
You think so? Top 5?
Okay, maybe not top 5 at his position, guard. He's a top 5 guard. We'll say that by far. And he's got no respect.
Kind of talking about these guards and forwards things. I think the biggest problem with the All-Star games are they hang on to, you have to have 3 front court players and 2 guards.
I don't like that.
No team, every team plays with 3 guards, 2 forwards.
Yep.
That's why your boy, Andrew Wiggins, is an all-star starter.
That frustrates me.
Now,
Andrew Wiggins?
If we go through and look at the forwards who he's with, Draymond Green, I can kind of understand him being over Draymond Green. Paul George has been hurt. I can understand that. Rudy Gobert.
No way.
Karl-Anthony Towns.
Cat and Rudy Gobert, he's over? No.
And
they've been having great seasons.
Anthony Davis has been hurt, so obviously not.
Yeah.
Carmelo Anthony should not even be on the list.
No.
And then Ayton's good.
Ayton's been having a great year.
He's been hurt lately.
Yeah.
But so that just shows, like, first of all, that's wild that 2 of those players are not above, or he's above 2 of those.
Cat and Gobert should be starting. They're phenomenal. And they've been actually pretty healthy this year. They've had COVID, I think, which was their only issue.
And that's just like, you're telling me Luka's not starting, Booker's not starting.
Yeah.
Chris Paul's not starting, DeJounte Murray's not starting.
Who's starting over them?
Well, it's Curry and Morant, which I understand both of them.
Sorry, I'm a huge Morant fan. But Luka should be starting over Ja. Luka's having a statistically better year. It's just the fact that this year is so unusual for Ja. This is his true breakout season.
You sure about that?
Yeah.
You positive?
I have both on my fantasy team.
You got both of them?
I do.
How'd you get both of them?
Swindled. Car Daddy. He's doing it.
The rehab center.
Yeah, the rehab center.
The rehab center. So you're telling me this guy is getting 25, Luka, 25, 8, 25, 9, and 9. That's pretty darn good.
Actually, John might be averaging more points than him, but not other stats. Points aren't everything.
26.
Yeah, 26.
6 and 7.
Yeah.
With 1 steal. 1 steal.
So, I mean,
Luka's got 4.5 turnovers. Ja's only got 3.
Okay. So I guess they are pretty even, but at the same time, I don't know.
But also, Luka's like a big guy.
Yeah.
Like, Ja's a true point guard.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand why he's there. Have Ja point guard, Curry shooting guard, Luka shoot small forward.
Yeah.
And then you can have LeBron. You can have LeBron power forward and Jokic center.
I still think DeJounte Murray, he should be starting over Ja. If you look and pull up his stats are unreal.
I'm not.
He's
agree
just
that he should be
quiet.
higher.
He doesn't talk. His team is not really talked about. What is he averaging?
19. 7.
Oh, okay. I thought he was averaging a little more. Okay. I'm
He's
corrected.
averaging 19, 8, and 9.
Yeah.
So.
And 2 steals with only 2.5 turnovers. So it is pretty good. But yeah, you're right.
So the other team, I don't know if there's any bones to pick with other teams because your starters are going to be Durant, Antetokounmpo, Joel Embiid, DeMar DeRozan, Trae Young.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, well, LaMelo.
I mean, LaMelo's like fun and all, but I don't think he's having a better year than
DeMar. Yeah,
DeMar's having a really good year.
I mean, okay, I like DeMar. I'm not a big DeMar fan. I am a fan of him though. Mm-hmm. But is he really having that great of a year, or has he just had that great of a like buzzer beater for the win shots? Because I don't think his stats are much better than LaMelo's or any of those players on the list. I think he just got a lot of publicity because he hit 2-game winners in a row.
I don't know. I kind of disagree. He's averaging 26.
26, 5, and 4. 5. Or 5 and 5.
Like, I don't know if LaMelo's going.
Well, I'm not just saying LaMelo. I think there are other players on the list.
I can't spell today. I give up.
LaMelo.
I mean, like,
James Harden, he's been injured a lot.
Yeah. LaMelo, like,
but I mean, I guess
Van Vliet's not going to be ahead of him. Kyrie plays only half the games. Darius Garland having a good year.
Why is Kyrie even on the ballot? He's played 4 games.
Because it's fan voting.
Yeah. 4 games.
Like, Derrick Rose also probably shouldn't be on there.
No.
Jaylen Brown, he's good.
Yeah, he's been actually having a great season.
Tatum's good. Jared Allen's good. Jimmy Butler's good. Miles Bridges, like, that's a surprising one.
Bridges!
Is Miles Bridges actually having a good year this year?
Yes.
Players got him 4 overall. That's crazy.
It's obvious that LaMelo is going to take all the hype, but Miles Bridges is having a really good year himself.
Really?
Yeah. I actually looked at the other day because I was like, I wonder how he's doing. He's doing really well.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
20?
20 points, 7 rebounds.
Dang.
3.5 assists.
I always liked him.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but.
I like the announcers. Which, real quick, we should have them announce the All-Star game. They should be allowed to vote for what announcers we want at the game, because I would pick them every day.
That is a good call. I do like that idea. We got some good ideas on this one. Did you ever hear my one idea? You were gone. I don't know if you actually listened to the podcast while you were gone.
I did.
But one day we were talking about Jackson Mahomes, and we think he should go on Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, no.
Dude, that's the best idea I've ever had in my life.
I mean, I think he should, because I think it's going to show how little he can actually dance.
Mm-hmm.
He's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I love the memes they make about him. He'll be dancing on the sidelines looking like a fool.
Yeah.
No, don't worry. I'm not,
Okay.
Not getting into that one.
I didn't want to get canceled the first episode.
No.
I thought you were going somewhere.
No. I'm smarter than that. But yeah, no, I can't stand Jackson Mahomes.
Oh, that's so funny. All right.
We're
kind of wrapping it up.
Yeah.
So we got to talk about our Wisconsin Badgers.
Our boys.
So, first of all, basketball.
Amazing.
I think we're like 16-3 now. 17-3.
17-3.
We should probably be 18-2.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, Providence, good team. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
We
They're
lost
ranked
to them at home when we were missing our best player.
Yeah.
So.
Understandable why we lost.
Uh-huh.
But disappointing nonetheless.
Speaking of our best player, Johnny Davis from La Crosse Central, which, of course, we go to the University of La Crosse, Wisconsin La Crosse, whatever you want to. Lax. So it's kind of cool to see a homegrown kid do it. He's actually, in all the mock drafts I've seen, he's projected to go top 5.
Mm-hmm. Me
Which
too.
is pretty darn
Impressive.
Here's the thing. The last like 5 or so games, he's been kind of in an offensive slump.
Mhm.
Like he scored 16 points this game, which 16 points to everyone else is like a career high.
Yeah, that's
in
amazing.
college basketball.
College basketball, you're going top 10 if you average 16.
And then he put up 15 points or boards,
That's
rebounds.
amazing.
That's pretty.
He lacked a little bit in the assist category, which, it is what it is. But 16 points, 15 boards, that's still creating so many opportunities for your team.
And I know
Can't hate.
Assists can kind of be a fluky stat because like you could make a great pass and the guy could miss.
Yeah.
But I think I think his 2 biggest areas of weakness is ball handling and passing. I think he's a good passer, but
that's fair to say. I noticed
he's
that
a good
little
defender.
bit during the game.
He's a good offensive player.
His court vision might be a little bit lacking.
Mm-hmm. But
So,
and sometimes, like I'm not saying he's a bad ball handler, but sometimes he gets like a little crazy with it.
Mhm.
But other than that, I mean, he might go down as my favorite Wisconsin basketball player to watch.
hey, that's fair. I mean, I don't know. Chucky Hepburn.
Oh, he's my boy.
Chucky. I love that name.
He's gonna be, and he's like 17.
That's crazy.
He's gonna be good in a couple years.
I think about what I did when I was 17. That's the funny thing.
Bozo.
Dude, do you look at the running back for Wisconsin Badgers? What's his name?
Braylon Allen.
Braylon Allen.
He's 18
just turned 18.
18.
When I was 17, I don't even know what I was doing with my life.
When he was 17, he was squatting like 600 pounds.
That's insane. That's insane. I was squatting maybe 300, maybe. I don't even know
I don't know what I was squatting. The only time I would squat to go poop.
Hey,
To be honest.
that's fair.
Being honest. So, I think, what do you think the ceiling of this Badger team is, though?
Elite 8. No, yeah, Elite 8. I love them. They play with more heart than any Badgers team I have ever seen. Even when we had Frank Kaminsky, Eric Decker, that whole group, this team plays with more heart. Because I think that team back in 2014, I believe it was, when we went to the national championship, the 2014 team knew they were good. They knew they had it. This team, I think everybody's surprised. I think the players are surprised they're doing this well. And I think they want to keep it going. So obviously they play harder than they've ever played before.
Well, so the funny thing about, because somebody said this is the best like Wisconsin team they've ever seen, which, don't get me wrong, I love this team. They're super fun to watch. Let's not kid ourselves.
2014.
Frank Kaminsky was probably the best player to ever wear a Wisconsin jersey.
Dominant.
He was filthy. Sam Decker was also filthy.
Nigel Hayes
was phenomenal. Bronson Koenig just got his 3 record broken, and it took Brad Davidson 100 more games.
6 years.
And 6 years.
Super senior.
So
we love our boy.
Yeah. So that team, you can't. And then you had Josh Gosser, who's the shooting guard.
Yeah, I remember him.
He was just a phenomenal role
player.
Yeah.
Wherever you needed him,
and
he was.
I don't think we'll ever touch that team. It's a shame we didn't win the championship.
Bad memories.
But this team's just fun. You got Brad Davison, who's your defender, 3-point shooter.
6-year player.
He's
a fan favorite. That's why I keep saying it. Everyone, even the announcers, you see him he's talking with the refs, and the announcers on the game are even when you're around 6 years, you start to know all these refs first name basis. So I love him.
So then I was kind of thinking then you got your Johnny Davis, who's gonna go. He'd probably go in the lottery. He's slipping a little bit lately because he's not doing as well offensively, but he's still gonna be an NBA player.
Oh yeah.
Then you have your young center who is just good. My boy Tyler Wall.
Yes,
who's
sir.
The biggest, and I mean this respectively, the biggest try-hard player out there. Hustles, dives for the ball, gets all the rebounds. He's got really good footwork in the post. And then you got Chucky Hepburn, who's just a solid point guard.
Chucky. And that is his first name, by the way. It's not like Charles or anything. It is Chucky.
Oh, Chucky. So here's the thing. I kind of do agree with you that I will say this. If we don't make it to the Elite 8 with this team, I will be kind of bummed because I think we could. No, I'm not going to say easily, but I think we could make Elite 8, and then once you're there, you never know what's going to happen.
True. I mean, it is
if you win the game, you're in Final Four.
Yeah, it is March Madness for a reason. But in saying that, I just look at our team and I look at other teams, and don't get me wrong, our team we're good. We have a lot of drive, a lot of energy, but a lot of other teams out there, some of the top teams have more than one star player. And I'm not saying Brad Davidson doesn't pick it up when he needs to, or Wall doesn't pick it up when he needs to. But you have teams like, well, Baylor just lost 3 straight. But, I mean, I guess I would use Baylor and Duke and all these other teams.
I'm a little low. So Auburn is the one.
Auburn, that's the one I was really looking for. But they have more than one player that's capable of going off for 25 a night.
And they have the number one draft pick.
Yeah.
Jabari Smith.
Yeah.
Going number 1.
So in saying that, it's like I see the Badgers and we're good. But if we take Johnny Davis out of the picture like we did against Providence, our team kind of falls apart. And we have won games without him where he hasn't really played, hasn't really done much. Because I think a couple games ago, he only got a couple minutes because he kind of got hurt. We still won. So,
but I will say, since the Providence
wasn't it
game,
the Purdue game actually he was out?
No, Purdue he dropped 37.
Oh yeah. What Purdue? It was another top team though.
We were down Tyler Wall one game. I think Davis has only missed one game though.
I don't know.
No, I think he has missed.
I think he missed another one. I think it was a ranked opponent we played and we actually beat him. But anyways, so I'm just saying I see these other teams and I don't know if we're going to get much past the Elite 8 because, if we shut down David's or...
Here's the thing. I do agree with that, but I will say I think if Davis has his good game.
Yeah.
I'm saying if Davis plays like a top 5 draft pick, and you can say this for any team, but if he plays to his potential every game in the tournament, we can beat any team in the country.
Yes, but that's hard to do.
Oh, I know. But I'm saying I think Auburn's the best team. Kentucky looks damn good right now.
Yeah.
They just went to Kansas. Kansas was supposedly a top 5 team in the country, and they won by 25 at Kansas.
That's crazy.
I think the legit contenders are going to be Auburn, Kentucky. I think Kansas. I'm not saying they're bad.
No, I think Kansas could.
I was not
we'll
impressed.
See. I mean, I haven't really watched them that much this year. I've just seen scores. So
Duke with the Palo Brancho dude.
Yeah,
he's filthy.
Yeah.
And then I would throw Wisconsin in there, but at the bottom half.
Yeah.
Maybe the 4 through 8
I could
category.
see potentially Purdue.
Oh, yeah, Purdue.
I could see Purdue being a big contender. There was one more team I was thinking of. I mean, not Baylor anymore. Baylor fell pretty hard.
I might still put Baylor up in there.
Bring up the top rankings real quick. I just want to make a quick side note. Wisconsin Badgers women's basketball. Shouts to you guys. You guys got to pick up the slack.
Oh, they're trash. But it's the first year under the new head coach. So.
True that. No, I know. All right, so here's it. Oh, Zags. Zags are the...
not.
I do. I think
they don't play anybody. They're playing Pepperdine tomorrow.
I mean, yeah. But They got that big Chet Holmgren.
And he's not good.
No, he's not, but he's a disruption. He disrupts the paint pretty well.
But, so here's my thing about him.
But I agree, he's not good. He's not like, I thought he was going to be a lot better. I was high on Chet Holmgren, again, because he was a mini ha-ha kid, Midwest. He came and played in lacrosse a couple times. I never watched him, but I was pretty high on him. But he's not as good as I thought he'd be.
So he's averaging 14 points a game, 9 rebounds, and 2 assists.
And 3 blocks.
3 blocks is kind of crazy. But I'll just say he plays nobody.
I know.
That he has played.
No, I understand.
He has not done anything.
I'm still just saying, if he gets in the paint against a team like Wisconsin, we have nobody to counter him.
Oh, we do. Stephen Crowell.
I mean, how tall is he?
7 foot.
I mean, I guess, yeah. But isn't Chet 7'6" or something?
No. I don't know why. I used to think he's just 7 feet tall.
Oh, he is? I guess
but in high school,
lanky.
In high school, when you're 7 feet tall, you look like you're 7'6".
Yeah, it said he was 7 foot. Yeah, you're right.
So if you compare these two guys' stats, I'm not saying Wisconsin's center Stephen Crowell is better.
No,
but this is what's wild to me. Where's his darn stats? Okay, here we go. He's 7 foot, 215.
Dang.
And he looks skinny on the court.
Yeah. Oh, I know what you're gonna say.
195.
Yeah, he's so skinny.
He's 20 pounds less than our guy, and our guy looks skinny on the court.
Yeah, you're right.
And I mean, our guy's only averaging 9 points.
Yeah.
Not getting blocks, not getting steals, not getting assists, and only 5 rebounds.
Not getting rebounds. He's not getting anything.
Wait, no, I know, but what I'm saying is I think our guy has a way higher ceiling than this shit Holmgren Holmgren guy. I'm just not a big...
Hey, no, that's fine. I'm not I used to be a fan. I'm not really anymore because I watched some videos on him, and that man, when he plays, he's cocky. Not a fan anymore. But no, yeah. So I agree. So I could see Houston's another one of those teams that I could see actually legit contending. I've seen a couple of their games and highlights, and obviously it's highlights, so they're going to show the good stuff. But they seem pretty decent.
I think as of right now, like the top 8 teams that I think Kentucky and Auburn are definitely in there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm of course going to put Wisconsin, so that's 3 of them. I think Purdue's in there. That's your 4.
Okay.
UCLA just went to Arizona and dog walked them.
Went to Arizona?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I
saw
would
that.
put UCLA in there, so that's 5.
Mm-hmm.
Duke in there, 6.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know if I'd put Arizona or not.
I don't know. I'm surprised at the rankings this year, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
They're so like weird. I mean, you have teams that you've never really seen before. You have Auburn up there. And I'm not saying they've never been good, but I don't remember them being this good. So you got Auburn. Arizona's always kind of decent. Then you got like UCLA. They used to have their heyday. But then you got like Houston.
Well, Houston's been good lately.
Well, lately. Yeah, that's true. I guess I'm just really surprised by like Auburn.
They've definitely been climbing the ladder lately.
But I feel like there are also teams in there with like Marquette. I love Marquette, another Wisconsin school, but they got 6 losses. Why are they ranked 22nd?
I mean, if you look down here, like 6 losses, 5 losses, 5 losses, 6 losses, 5, 5. So when you get down,
it depends on the strength of schedule too.
Well, when you get down to like top 15 and up are the only teams that have, like even right here we have 2 teams with 5 losses.
Yeah, which is kind of nice for Wisconsin, so we got a little bit of leeway because I want us to maintain top 15. I want to get in the top 5. I say if we win out, we're going to be playing Michigan State again. We're going to be playing Purdue again. We're going to be playing Nebraska again, I think. And who I don't even know who else. But all I know is that we've got a good schedule coming up. If we can win out, we can potentially be a top 5 team.
Winning out is going to be
it's a challenge, yeah.
Big challenge.
Oh, yeah.
So here, this is the last thing I'll say. I'm going to leave it on this note with the Wisconsin Badgers. Are you familiar with a guy by the name of Bobby Ingram?
Familiar.
Are you actually? So
it sounds kind of familiar. I mean, I might just think about Brandon Ingram.
But... So Bobby Ingram was the former tight ends coach of the Baltimore Ravens.
Okay, then I'd know.
And he has just been hired to be Wisconsin's offensive coordinator.
Tight end coach?
Yeah.
I guess.
He's a damn good coach. Assistant coach.
Okay.
Because like Mark Andrews, he developed him. Hayden Hurst developed him.
Okay.
He was also their wide receivers coach for a couple years when like Steve Smith was there.
Okay.
So he's been hired as the offensive coordinator, which who knows how it's going to turn out. You never know.
Interesting move.
I'm just excited that Wisconsin's finally putting some attention onto the offensive team after we've been so bad. Like we're obviously good at running the ball.
Yeah.
But our
we've
passing game.
Yeah, because I mean we've always been good at running. That's like a Wisconsin staple. Linemen, defensive and offensive, and running the ball. That's like our thing. So, hopefully you can get a good quarterback too. I'm not a fan. I've moved on.
I have still not moved on. However, what I want to leave you with, do you know the guy Caleb Williams?
If you look him up, maybe.
He was the true freshman quarterback at Oklahoma.
Okay.
And he took over for Spencer Rattler halfway through the season.
I saw that.
And absolutely lit it up.
Yeah, I saw that. Then, Spencer Rattler was out of a job after that.
So then Lincoln Riley, his coach, left after the year and took the job at USC.
Mm-hmm.
Out of nowhere. Thursday evening, a report came out that said Wisconsin and USC are the front runners to land Caleb Williams as a transfer.
What? Why?
I don't know. When I saw that, I thought it was a joke. And then, like, verified accounts were tweeting about it.
What?
Right now, they have it 70.
I do know that kid, and he's phenomenal.
He was nuts.
He's a good running quarterback, and he's even better throwing.
Which
he's like an upgraded Lamar Jackson with a little bit less running ability.
So the interesting thing here is he went to high school with Dean Ingram, who's the son of Bobby Ingram, who's a Wisconsin cornerback. So Bobby Ingram knew this family in high school. So a lot of people are thinking one reason Wisconsin hired him is to potentially lure this guy to come.
If that were the case, I would actually be very happy with Wisconsin football.
And apparently somehow he's family friends with Russell Wilson.
Oh,
And apparently Russell Wilson has told
please.
him that Paul Chryst was like instrumental in developing him as a quarterback.
Thank you, Russell Wilson. We appreciate you.
I'll leave it on this. Like we said, he's coming from the Baltimore Ravens. You know what kind of offensive scheme they run with in Baltimore? Quarterback run heavy.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that he's going to come to Wisconsin and like do a quarterback run.
No, but I think with our offensive line, that might work perfectly.
I mean, imagine having him and Braylon Allen in the backfield together.
Oh my gosh. Dude, oh my gosh, that makes me excited. We could actually go to like the Rose Bowl or something.
We could
make
win the top 4. Like, I'm not even kidding. If we got, because okay, I know everyone's kind of out on Graham Mertz. I am publicly said he's got 4 more games for me. But if we were able to land this guy, it honestly turns Wisconsin into like
top 5 team.
Mm-hmm.
This kid's amazing. And the thing I like about him is our last couple quarterbacks, since Russell Wilson, I'll say it, since Russell Wilson, they've not been the most accurate and good passers.
Mm-hmm.
They've been decent, but this kid,
and he's
a
been
gunslinger. And he's a gunslinger and he's mobile.
No, he's good.
Ooh.
Now, like I said, it still looks like he's going to go to USC, but I'm hoping every day I wake up and just Google his name, waiting for like
that would be amazing
to say he's going to Wisconsin.
That'd turn our whole program around. That could potentially land us more recruits in the future because hopefully we'll win with him, and other people will be like, "Oh, I want to go to a winning team."
Mm-hmm.
And that's how that works. That's how you get those dynasties.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he could literally start that.
All right, well, yeah, hopefully, now that Carson's back in town, we will be doing this more often.
Yes,
I don't know exactly what our schedule will be looking like.
We'll get another one coming in a week.
Yeah. We'll figure something out.
For sure.
Thanks for listening.
Appreciate you guys. Glad to be back.
It's always a good time. We'll get some cocktails going next time.
Yes, sir.
Have a good one.